Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Gears of War 4 Inconceivable difficulty video walkthrough. This is Act 5-1, it's called Convergence, and it's back to our scheduled broadcasting of Chris not swearing repeatedly at a fucking Swarmac. And the fact I cursed just then probably removed monetization on this video, but it's okay because with the ads during the summer, I'll probably make 7.5 pence. This is a tricky fight. It's not hard, but it's awkward because at the very beginning, depending on where the pouncers go, will depend on how difficult this is. If they immediately jump on somebody and you can chainsaw them or grenade tag them, you'll be fine. But if they don't, and they just start quilling, there's times when if you get hit by both of them, you're just dead. It's really tricky. It's just a tough environment more so than anything else. And I was lucky enough to get it, I think, to a third attempts. But the fight after this, the fight after this is hard. But once again, it's not bullshit, so it's fun and you can figure it out, but it's definitely tricky. The hardest part about it is the scions. Scions are really, really dangerous and they take a pounding. The cover is not in your favour, it favours the enemies, and there's a lot of them, and the checkpoint is non-existent. You have to take on 2 sets of enemies in a row without failing. But it's after this fight. This fight coming up just in this courtyard is kind of an interesting one. It's DBs versus the Locust, or the Swarm, sorry. But it's not really a fight, and I don't get involved because I want them to hurt each other. And there's going to be a Guardian that spawns, and I'm just going to back up and let them kill each other. It's one of those interesting concept fights that doesn't translate into much. And I shoot off the torque bow, and then I pick up the M-bar, and I'm going to back up into this courtyard. If you back up here, almost nothing is a threat. But if you stay in that front area, you can get hurt really quickly. So I'm just going to go back and forth with the cover. That right there that I just did was an example of cancelling the SWAT turn into a roadie run. And you can do that in any direction at any moment of that animation. I didn't know that until I came back to this game. So it was a cool thing to discover. I'm sure everybody knows about it though. But it looks really goofy. But I'm just going to wait for my team to do as much as they can. I'm going to wait for the Guardian to do as much as it can. And then when it dies, I'm going to go and clean up. But this is just kind of a filler fight. The only issue you're going to have here is you're going to be slightly depleted because of the fight with the Swarmac. If you're not, you'll be fine. So there's a headshot on that guy, but didn't kill him. It could have been a headshot on him. Any more? Suppressing. I think that was a headshot. I think he's dead. He might not be. And then we've got a drop shotter just over there. Boom. That did not... come on, man. 2 fucking charges on a face. What a dumb weapon. This difficulty's dumb. I think the headshot multiplier should be way higher on this difficulty. Do not ever challenge this. Don't do it. That dude's a magician with that weapon. He is... Do not underestimate... Oh, speaking of magicians, this guy really wants to kill me. But he doesn't have a chainsaw, so he can't. That was handy. You could have countered him, but I wouldn't want to risk it. Luckily enough, for some reason, the juvies kill you instantly, but the drones don't. I've never got that. And another interesting thing as well, in Horde mode, when you play as the Scout with an insane health buff, if anybody pulls you over cover and stabs you, it's an instant kill. There's nothing you can do about it, other than counter it and not be in cover when they try. It's just one of those interesting things. There are certain moves that supersede that threshold of HP, and the execution is one of them. But there's just a drop shotter left. He's firing a couple of rounds this way. He's just died. And I think that's it. So, the next fight is going to go quite quickly. So, you want to get a Nasher if you don't have anything better, and you want to start shooting it, so you can get at least 4 actives in the gun, because the Nasher, with an active, has a chance of one-shotting the enemies, but you've got to rely on random spray again. And what I'm going to do, because I don't have grenades, I can't seal this hole. Instead, I can do Gears 1 on them, and I can wreck them with the Nasher. But when they take a shot, I get worried, and traditionally they shouldn't take a shot if I'm close enough. Once I've done that, I can back up because there's a mulcher that's about to come. So the safest piece of cover I found is this. If you sit behind here, you can shoot at him for a decent amount of time before he gets to a position where he can shoot at you. And I don't need to be the one to tell you that if you get mulched, you die in about 2 bullets. There's a few more buffed enemies coming forwards and they rush your team. That's why sitting on cover where they are is not a good strategy because you'll just get punched. Unless you're rocking the shotgun and you're wanting to do more high-risk, high-reward maneuvers, I just wouldn't do it. But this comes back to my to what I would do with this difficulty. I would make the shotgun so that when you're close to them, you wouldn't need an active and it would always one-shot kill. Anything within 5 yards of you and a shotgun should die. You should do the damage they do to you with the shotgun. And it's stupid that you don't, because it makes one of the most interesting weapons completely useless in this difficulty. And my argument is a simple one. You will never get near these enemies unless you're good. The only way to get close to the locust outside of being rushed is by being intelligent and knowing how to exploit the systems. So the argument of, oh, it'd be too strong is non-existent, because the enemies kill you so quickly at any given area, any given zone, any given distance. So if you can get close enough to stick a Nasher in their ribs, it should be rewarded, it shouldn't be punished. And I think that that's just one of the glaring areas where the game does not work as it should. But now that this is done, there's a moment of calm. You want to go and pick up the drop shot that's in this hive, in this nest. And then now we're going to seal 2 holes with a drop shot and run away. So the first one's bang in front of you here. So seal that one, boom, and then seal the one in front of you quickly. Once you've done that, you need to run away, because there's not only is there going to be a drop shotter, but there's also going to be a mulcher. 2 scions, and whoever's left. But now that you've sealed away those holes, there shouldn't be too many. And you can back up and take your time. I don't have to tell you that this mulcher means business. And if you could end him with a well-placed drop shot, it would be great. Which is what I tried to do in those last 2 shots, but it's so hard to do it. It takes a real eye for judging distance, and it's not a strength of mine. One thing that's really weird about this fight is that the guy who has the drop shot on the right will almost always move down this channel that the mulcher guy's on and come from that direction. He'll never go through the building, and he'll never go through the alley on the right. I don't know why. It's like he has a preset path, and it means that you will always know where he's gonna come from. He never sneaks up on you, he never surprises you, he just always comes this way, and he's really good at strafing too. He likes the old, the AD strafing. But at this range, as long as the mulcher dies, you don't have much of a threat factor with the other guy, because as good as they are with that weapon, it gives you enough time to get away from it, and he just died. So now, we should be good to go. There he is. Put some bullets on him. You also notice that this place is called Spire, but it's spelt weird. Spelt in such a strange way. And there's a multiplayer map that's based off of this location, but it looks nothing like this. So I have no idea what that's about. The multiplayer map looks all blue and vaulted with steeples and stuff. This place just looks industrial. This looks like Sheffield. With, you know, slightly different areas as well. But tons of metalworks and everything, right? You know, it's very industrial. Look how much they take, though, these enemies. Crazy. Team's not doing the best job right now, but neither am I. Because you don't want to fail at this point, because if you die, you go back to before we even entered this area. It's a really rough checkpoint, but once this guy's dead, you're done. And it's another skillful fight, so in the 3 tiers, this is a top tier fight. It's difficult, you have problems because the cover's not great, but you can get creative and make it work. If I had a grenade, that first hole would be easy. Instead, I did a high-risk maneuver with the shotgun, but it paid off. The problem is, I could have died at any moment if those locusts had have turned on me. The one thing you're relying on there is that when they spawn, they're passive. They're passive until they're activated, and at that point, you're in trouble if you don't kill them. But we did it, and then we move into this garage, and we can wreck these elite drones. So this guy is way too close right now, but I'm glad Marcus is getting over there and getting involved. He does have a Nasher on, so if he were to shoot me at that range with a Nasher, it would probably kill me. So look at this, it's like Naked Gun right now. What a stupid fight. And look at that dude! Are we going to win? Rare footage of Chris winning a chainsaw duel. Again, guys, I don't know what it is about those duels, but when you lose them, you feel like you shouldn't lose them. And when you win them, you don't even feel like you were as aggressive on the tapping as you were when you lost. It's very strange. But this is the last guy, I think. And he downs almost the entire team. What a beast. You see what I mean, though? When they use the Nasher compared to when you use the Nasher, their Nasher is multiplayer Nasher. It's so stupid. I'm going to execute this guy because he made me mad. Remember the first game when you used to do stuff like that and the screen was so covered in blood you could barely see? I do miss that. I miss being host and getting the blood spatter and then being completely worthless. It was so dumb and over the top, but I loved it. Chainsaw a dude and be blind for 30 seconds. It was cool, right? So here, this is kind of shitty, this. I thought that this would hit the wall and then bounce down on him and be a perfect shot without me having to aim it, but it just went through the geometry. I have no idea why it did that. I don't know if that's the game or some strange programming, but that was scary. I'm very glad she won. But this is guys at such a distance, even his vinyls aren't going to touch us, and he tries. Not as much as that other guy, though. And I think that's always the problem, isn't it, with a game such as this and a difficulty like this. When your standard enemies are more dangerous than your bigger enemies because of how accurate they are and because of damage modifiers, you've fundamentally lost your hierarchy. And that's a problem. A Scion's meant to be more dangerous than a drone, but he's not. Because the Scion is carrying a clumsy weapon, and he's got all of these things that stop him from being super dangerous, whereas the standard guy can sprint directly at you, punch you once and kill you. Like that guy's doing right now. It's such an interesting thing, isn't it? How do you increase difficulty without making the bog standard enemy an absolute nightmare? Like, look at Doom. The most recent Doom that came out, those imps that jump about throwing fire at you are the most dangerous enemy in the game. And then you take on like the Barons of Hell, the big fucking horn dudes with the cloven hooves and everything, and they're not that bad. Because they don't jump around like dickheads preempting where you are with fantastic majestic aim. They just do very predictable simple stuff and you wreck them. It's such a strange thing in games, and it's tough to get it right. And there's no right answer either. It's a progressive thing, it's a dynamic thing, it's a lot of different factors. But on this moment, I rush forward, I seal the hole with a grenade, and then I play quite passive. The problem with this fight is they have the height advantage, you're staring into the sun, and the turret will kill you in 2 bullets, so do not get hit by it. Also, there are locusts here with a penchant for rushing you, so not only will they throw grenades, but they'll also rush you and the cover's not great. So, I'm going to be very defensive here, guys. The good news is that the next mission is easy. And it's the mission you're worried about, and you don't need to be worried about. This is way harder right now than the next bit, because the next bit you can control. This bit's a little bit more random and chaos-riddled. But you can be super aggressive if you want to. I'm just choosing to be quite passive here and defensive. Messing around doing the roadie strafe, if you've ever heard of that. Which is something that's pretty much unique to multiplayer, and dodging juvies maybe. Because the AI is too accurate, you can't dodge them. Humans you can dodge. We're not quite as accurate. We're pretty good, but we're not as good at tracking because we don't know where you're going to go, we have to guess. Whereas the AI, they know exactly where you're going and they've already got the 1s and 0s coming your way. Here he comes, sprinting forward. Another elite. He doesn't have a Lancer though, that one. He has a Hammer Burst. What a unique history the Hammer Burst has had, right? The first game, triple burst garbage gun that no one used. The second game, wasn't the second game single shot? And it fired as fast as you pressed the trigger or something? And then in the third game, it had first person mode. And then in this game, it's just kind of the in-between some of the other games. Like, what a strange thing, right? If you can kill the turret guy here, you can be way more aggressive than I'm being. And I got the shock of my life when he either died or got off that turret. I thought that was quite funny, because the idea of them getting off the turret never occurred to me. And you're going to see rare footage of me using a Boltok here, guys. Boltok is a really good gun, but the problem with it is it was famously misaligned with its iron sight. Its reticle was not perfect. It was a little bit off. It used to shoot to the left, I think. And it's always been one of those guns that I've liked, but it's always bugged me that it wasn't correct. And I think in this game it's even the same. You know how the boom shot doesn't fire where it's supposed to go? Like, the boom shot's always been a bit misaligned, but in the old games it was misaligned slightly differently, and in this game it's misaligned in its own unique way. Well, the Boltok was kind of the same way. But you cannot deny its damage. If you hit a drone twice in the face, it'll headshot them. Sometimes it'll hit them once if they've been damaged, and it'll kill them that way. It's a very strong gun. And if you get an active reload, you can shoot it really quickly too. And the reason why I haven't picked it up much in this campaign is because I'm a snub guy, but it's not for lack of damage and it's not for lack of a quality gun. The Boltok is a very good gun. It's also part of your primary arsenal, so if you pick up the glowing ammo boxes, you will get it refilled too. Is this the moment when I'm going to pick it up? Am I thinking about it? I think I am. Is this the moment? Go on, Chris. Show these guys what Harry Callahan would do. Nope. I'm not picking it up just yet. Just watching, just being patient. Admittedly, it's a pocket sniper. This is a really good location for it. But it's one of those things where I'm just kind of biding my time and being patient. That's why this mission's a little bit longer than it should be, because I wasn't as aggressive as I could have been here. But on the next mission, or on part 3 of Act 5, you'll get your achievement for carrying this gun. So if you've been frustrated and wanting to pick up 2 power weapons the entire time, you did it. And doing on Inconceivable is a tricky thing. Yeah, there we go. Boltok equipped. Watch this. The first bullet I use with this gun, I get a headshot at this distance. I didn't even zoom in, I don't think. And if I did, I'm just blind. Like, that's pretty slick. It's a pretty cool gun. It just doesn't come with very much ammo. That guy... Oh, that guy's chainsawed. One guy left, right? Yeah, and he's coming. I missed him. And I'm going to pick my snub back up, but don't sleep on the Boltok, guys. It's a good gun. Very good gun. And that's the end. So now we can push forward to the next section. A section that I was very concerned about, because I remember it being a nightmare on Insane, and on Inconceivable it's easy, which doesn't make any sense, but, you know, I'll let you be the judge. Thank you for watching, and you take care now.